Hello all, Namaste. This video is about types of motives. There are two categories of motives, and under each there are many types of motives. So I will tell you more about them. Biological motives are also called physiological motives. They are guided by our body's mechanisms which are happening internally and the biological needs of the body. Biological needs are nothing but internal physiological imbalances which lead to drive. And once there is a drive, the motivation cycle begins. There is something called instinct, which we will learn more about in class. And you will learn about the difference between what is an instinct and what is a motive. So there is another category of motives called psychosocial motives. These are learned or acquired from our interactions with the environment, the people in our environment, etc. And they are shaped through our socialization experiences um, throughout our growing years. So these two types of motives, the biological and psychosocial, are interdependent. There is no motive which is exclusively biological or exclusively psychosocial. They influence each other and they arise with different combinations, and these motives cannot be perceived directly by us, but you can infer from other people's behavior when you observe them. So, some biological motives that are discussed in this video are hunger, thirst, and sex. These three are important for the sustenance of an individual. So, hunger, all of us feel hungry, and hunger drives us to consume food, which is important for our survival. And hunger is influenced by a combination of internal and external factors. What are these internal factors? Internal factors are stomach contractions, which indicate emptiness of the stomach, low glucose levels in the blood, low protein level in the blood, reduced fat stores in the body, and also the liver regulates changes in metabolism and sends a signal to the brain asking us to have food. Also, hypothalamus regulation, wherein the lateral hypothalamus stimulates hunger and we feel like eating, whereas the ventromedial hypothalamus inhibits hunger because once we start eating, we should stop eating at some point of time. So that's what the ventromedial hypothalamus does. External factors which influence hunger are the aroma, taste, and appearance of food. So when we pass by um, a shop selling savories or chaat, because of the aroma, we feel like stopping and having something, right? A quick bite. So these influence our hunger motivation to an extent. And also when we observe others eating and enjoying their food, and past experiences, when we pass by any restaurant, we are reminded of going there with our friends or our family members and having enjoyed the food. So these are some of the factors that influence hunger. So the next are thirst motivation and sex motivation. So these two are very important ones. Thirst is a basic motive um, which happens when the body is deprived of water and the mouth and the throat becomes dry. In severe cases, it causes dehydration. So water lost from body fluids causes cell dehydration, and when cell dehydration happens, the osmoreceptors in the anterior hypothalamus of the brain will detect this dehydration, and they give out nerve impulses signaling us to drink water. The next is sex motivation. It's a powerful drive. It is regulated by sex hormones, and these are controlled by the ovaries and the testes, further regulated by the hypothalamus in the brain and endocrine glands. This motive is influenced by environmental and cultural factors, so it's not purely a biological motive, and it is not essential for the survival of the individual, maybe survival of the species, but not the survival of the individual. Thereby, it's a complex motive to study. The next is need for affiliation. So, psychosocial motives are, as I said earlier, learned or acquired by our socialization practices. And need for affiliation includes desire for company. We always seek company of others. We wouldn't want to always be alone. We feel like having some close, friendly relationships with people, and we like to share our emotions with others. And we feel like belonging to a group. Whenever we find people with similarities or mutual likes and dislikes, we tend to form groups. So, this need for affiliation is different in each person. The degree of this need varies. Those who are high on this motive will put in extra effort, go the extra mile to build relationships, to maintain and repair relationships. And it's high or aroused when there's a situation of happiness or threat, or when we feel helpless, or when we need to achieve certain goals as a team or a group. The next is need for power. This is about how individuals desire to influence others, to control others, to um, persuade or uh, to be a leader. They do this so that they can improve their own reputation or how others see them. So, the external sources for need for power is when people associate themselves with powerful personalities, or by reading or consuming any related content, social media content, reading about people who have achieved great heights, or it could be internal power. People derive strength or feel powerful through self control, practicing self control, and how they avoid temptations, they master their impulses, and also by building physical strength, by building their body and their muscles. Another way is by indirect action. Direct action. They act directly on others by arguing with others, competing with others, or trying to influence them. Group leadership is another way of exercising power, like, for example, a political party and becoming the leader of a political party, how they can influence people on a larger scale is all about group leadership. So, need for power is one type of psychosocial motive. Another psychosocial motive is need for achievement. Some students study very hard and they compete with their classmates for better grades because they know that they have good prospects when they get better grades, like good opportunity for higher studies and good job prospects. So, the key characteristics of the need for achievement in which is different in different individuals, is the desire to meet standards for excellence, and they strive for success in different fields that they are interested in. They always want to top in that particular field, and they prefer moderately difficult tasks, not something which is very difficult to attain, leading to loss of confidence, or they don't want something very easy to. They want something moderately difficult. And they actively seek performance feedback more than average, and they work hard and they're competitive. So, this need for achievement develops when we are growing in the growing years. As we socialize, we are influenced a lot by people around us, like role models, parents, and also socio-cultural factors. The environment or the status, economic status in which we grow up could be another factor. So, people who are high in achievement motivation will need challenging tasks which challenge their abilities, but not so difficult that they may fail in it. So, they are always interested in taking up challenges and meeting their challenges. The last one in psychosocial motives is curiosity and exploration. What is curiosity? It is something which describes behavior where the primary motive is to just remain in the activity that they are indulging in. It doesn't have to have a specific purpose. I like doing it and I will do it. I like to explore, for example, and I will explore. I would like to seek answers to questions. These are all what curiosity is about. Signs of curiosity is when a person likes new experiences, and he or she likes um, obtaining information about different things. So, our ignorance about things in our environment becomes a good motivating factor for us to explore, because usually we get bored with the same kind of experiences. So, therefore, this boredom drives us to look for something new. So, when people who are high on curiosity and exploration are observed, you see that they like new experiences, and they like questions like what will happen if this happens, if that happens. They want to explore and discover answers to these questions. And children, especially, uh, have the satisfaction by exploring, because if you help them to explore, encourage them to explore, their curiosity is satisfied, and this is reflected in smiling and babbling, the satisfaction that they gain from exploration. So, with this, we come to the end of the topic, types of motives. I will meet you in the next video. Thank you.